By the time Hazel Soan became a household name in the watercolor world, her role had expanded beyond that of an artist. She had become a guide. Exhibitions sold out quickly, but Hazel knew that sharing knowledge was as vital as creating it. She began to write, not in the dry tone of manuals, but with a voice that carried conviction and encouragement. Her books, over 24 and counting, invite readers into a dialogue rather than a lecture. Titles like The Essence of Watercolor and Light and Shade in Watercolor reveal not only her technical insights, but her belief in simplicity as a path to mastery. Television amplified her reach. When Hazel appeared on Watercolor Challenge, audiences were captivated by her calm authority and her ability to demystify a medium often regarded as unforgiving. She didn't pretend watercolor was easy. She honored its difficulty, but she framed that difficulty as beauty, a challenge worth embracing because it demands honesty. In her own series, Splash of Color, she carried this mission further, painting on location, showing viewers how light transforms a scene within minutes. These programs were not about spectacle. They were about process, about teaching viewers to look before they touch the brush. Her workshops and painting holidays became legendary. From the streets of Venice to the deserts of Namibia, Hazel created classrooms without walls, where nature dictated the schedule and light was the only clock. Students learned that hesitation kills freshness and boldness gives life. She urged them to simplify, not because detail was wrong, but because truth lies in the essential. Her critique was never harsh, but always precise, cutting through clutter to reveal what mattered most in a painting. What sets Hazel apart as a teacher is her philosophy, that art should liberate, not intimidate. She often says that watercolor is not about control, but about cooperation between artist, pigment, water, and paper. To fight it is to lose. To flow with it is to win. This humility toward the medium shaped countless painters who once feared watercolor and now embrace its spontaneity. But Hazel's teaching is not confined to technique. It is about mindset. She insists that painting is a way of being present, of slowing down in a world obsessed with speed. Each brushstroke becomes a meditation, each wash a dialogue between chaos and control. For her students, this is more than art. It is a discipline of attention, a means of seeing deeply. Hazel Soan is, at heart, a storyteller. She tells stories in pigment and in words, weaving them into lessons that endure long after the paper dries. Her greatest achievement may not be the thousands of works hanging in private collections, but the invisible ripple of inspiration she has set loose. Painters scattered across the globe, each carrying a little of her fearless clarity in their own hand. Every great artist leaves behind more than images. They leave a way of seeing. For Hazel Soan, that legacy is built on clarity. Clarity of purpose, of technique, and of heart. While trends in art come and go, her work stands apart because it is rooted in principles that feel timeless. Simplicity, confidence, and light. What makes her paintings unforgettable is not just their beauty, but their restraint. In an age obsessed with excess, Hazel reminds us that what we omit is as important as what we include. A blank space is not an absence, it is a breath. A single brushstroke, laid with conviction, can say more than a dozen cautious touches. This discipline, to do less but mean more, is the quiet power running through all her work. Today, Hazel continues to paint, teach, and explore with the same curiosity that began her journey decades ago. She moves easily between the studio and the open world, between silence and conversation. Her art has graced galleries, books, and television screens, yet she remains faithful to the core idea that first drew her to watercolor: its immediacy, its vulnerability, its truth. Hazel often speaks of light, not just the light that falls on paper, but the light of attention. When we paint, she says, we look harder, and in looking, we begin to see. That belief resonates far beyond art. It is an antidote to distraction, a call to notice the fragile, fleeting moments that shape our days. For Hazel, painting is not an escape from life. It is an embrace of it. Her influence stretches across continents. Students, collectors, and fellow artists all carry fragments of her wisdom. Some have found confidence through her words, others a new relationship with color and form. Many, perhaps most, have discovered something deeper. That creativity is not about perfection, but about presence, about showing up with courage and allowing beauty to happen. In the end, Hazel Soan is not just a painter of animals or figures or landscapes. She is a painter of light, the kind that moves across the savannah at dawn, and the kind that moves within us when we see the world with fresh eyes. Her legacy is not a fixed monument, but a living ripple, widening with every brush lifted in confidence, every student who dares to leave the paper breathing. And that is the true measure of her art, not permanence, but influence, not the works that hang on walls, but the vision that outlives them.